We're here on a lovely day here in the Talk About Topeka studios, and I'm joined by my good friend, Deb Goodrich here. I've been on the show so many times. It's so great to have you back. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here. This is looking very nice.
We keep stepping it up a little bit here and there.
So proud of you.
Yeah, well, you know, it was great how we had met each other a long time ago, and then we hadn't seen each other for a long time. We started working together on something else, and then all of a sudden we just
realized we knew
each other, and it was that moment of but we got back together by when we met back up. We were talking about history. That was our big thing at that time, and so you pretty much know everything.
History's been very, very good to me.
Yeah. And you're also host of a talk show around Kansas as well.
It's, I guess, a variety show would be a better way to describe it. We are syndicated throughout the state, and around Kansas is the Wednesday feature of Ag AM. So the other 4 days are pretty hardcore ag-related issues and topics and guests. And the Wednesday is when we get to do all the fun stuff. Yep. And Frank Chafin is my co-host, and of course Frank has been in media in Northeast Kansas for a long, long time, and he has Ren Radio.
We did an interview with Frank over in Noto.
He's amazing.
Cool.
He's amazing. And so we come each week from the Dillon House, the newly renovated Dillon House.
So beautiful.
So you can't get any better than that.
So what's it like going there to do that? I mean, it's just great to feel in that
you know, and I know that you know what I'm talking about, but architecture is supposed to be inspiring. And, you know, that's the theory behind the State House, behind Topeka High and so many other buildings. And that's what you feel when you walk into the Dillon House. And it's not just the original builder and Hiram Dillon who wanted this beautiful home, but that the Pioneer Group and Ross Freeman have repurposed that wonderful building, and I got to be in there to see a lot of those steps. Oh, you can't believe what went into restoring that building. You just cannot believe it. The attention to detail, the labor that it took. I was in there when they were staining the trim in the dining room. And, you know, the curse words and, you know, these poor guys, I'm like, my God, how will they ever get this done? Because there must be 10 miles of trim, because it's just layer upon layer upon layer of trim. And it's gorgeous.
Well, I'm sure the fumes from all the stain, that was breathtaking. But the whole finished project, that is just so breathtaking.
It is. It's amazing. And it's such a tribute to Ross Freeman's vision and the vision of everybody there with the Pioneer Group, and obviously a belief in Topeka. And
it's a showplace.
It is a showplace.
Very nice.
And so that's what I think every time I walk in. And I'm so proud that we can bring around Kansas to folks from that location. It's so nice.
It's a perfect fit. Absolutely.
It is a perfect
and
fit.
Beautiful view of the Capitol building.
And we roam around the house, so we'll have different backgrounds, you know, just depending on our mood or what's available. You know, when they have events, we have to shoot around the events. And sometimes, though, we get to shoot in one of the sunrooms with the Capitol actually in the background. And it's just stunning. It's just beautiful. And
it really is. Okay, so I see around Kansas, you know, I see it pop up on my Facebook feed. I'm like, hey, that's pretty awesome.
Good.
It's on pretty early if you're watching on television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this market, we're syndicated around the state, so it's on at different times in different markets. But in Northeast Kansas, it's on at 5 a.m. and then again at 6:30 a.m. And so, yeah, it airs for people that are doing things.
Yeah,
you know, this is not for people that are sitting around. This is for people that are doing things and have to be out and gone by 7 o'clock or so.
And it's great to be able to see the features, you know, on Facebook. When I see them pop up in the feed, it's great.
YouTube, we've got a YouTube channel. I guess the YouTube channel is Ag AM in Kansas, I guess, is the YouTube channel.
And you get the full link there to be able to look at all the stories on the website. So I encourage people to do that. Now tell us about Grass and Grain.
You know, I started doing a column for Grass and Grain, which is a weekly publication, obviously serving people in the industry, raising feed. And we got Grass and Grain. We had a subscription there at the office because of all the ag-related shows and topics. And I had looked through it and I thought, this is really well done. And it had several columnists that I was familiar with. Baxter Black writes a column in that, and my good friend Jim Gray. And so there's all these people, and I contacted them and I said, I'd like to do a column called Around Kansas and be another vehicle to talk about the features from around Kansas, because we cover folks and topics and sites, all over the state. It's just more promotion, And they were very receptive. I cannot believe the response to that. I cannot believe it. I have people walk up in restaurants that I do not know and say, hey, I watch you on Around Kansas, and I read your column in Grass and Grain. And a friend of mine the other day out at Minneapolis, I was talking with her, and she said, we get the subscription at the bank and we pass it around the bank, and then I bring it home. And I'm like, good grief. I mean, but I get probably a mention a day at least. It's unreal.
Amazing. So Grass and Grain, you can check it out. That's online as well.
Yeah, they have a website, and they've been in business for a very long time.
Very good.
And one of the cool things they do, Chris, is they highlight a lot of the kids involved in 4-H.
Amazing.
So they have 4-H competitions and winners, and they promote the kids. And there are not many vehicles for that anymore. So that's really nice.
All right. Well, that's Deb Goodrich. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh,
really do appreciate you coming by, and find her show Around Kansas on Ag AM Wednesday mornings, and of course find her in Grass and Grain. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate you coming by.
Oh, it's always wonderful.
You bet.